All right, so today I want to go over how to make this dialogue pop-up thing. You can use your mouse and click over here and drag and do all this crazy scrolling and whatnot if you want to make really long messages. If you want to just have this dialogue pop-up, doesn't matter either way. It'll be very dynamic. You can place each one of these with different texts, so we can copy this guy over here, and then I could say another thing, change this title to the test thing, talking about it, talking to this one, test thing, blah blah blah, the testing, another thing. So you can have a whole bunch of them, all that good stuff. I've not actually tested what would happen if I have them overlap. I thought. That does work, even overlapping. Alright. Let's get into it. Alright, I think that about does it. If you haven't already been following along, I'll put a link in the top right in the iCards for the videos prior to this. But if you decently know what you're doing, you should be able to just jump right in. And for those of you that have been following along, you might see some other stuff in here like health and stuff. That's for another video. I'm not sure if I want to show how to do a health component again, because I've already covered a video on that before, and not really much if anything has changed. But anyways, so first thing I want to do is I'm going to make a new folder. We're going to call it UI. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to user interface. I'm going to make two widgets, user widgets, and the first one I'm going to call HUD_WI or widget, and then we can just control D that, and we can call the second one dialogue_WI. Let's do the dialogue one first, and this will basically be the little pop-up that you see. So what we can do is we can grab a size box, drag that down here, then let's go ahead and go to fill screen up here on the top right, and we're going to switch it to custom. I think the one I did in the preview was 500 by 300 if I remember correctly. With the size box selected, we want to come over here to the right, the child layout, and we want to do the same here, 500 300. File and save that. And then inside of this, I'm going to do a border, and this will make up the background. If you guys want to use an image, you can. It's totally up to you guys. I'm just gonna make it. Actually, we'll use an image. I already have my image. Quite literally just grab one of these off of YouTube. I just drew one in Photoshop. Why that ended up on my other screen? Hold on. There we go. Here it is. I'm gonna open this image up, and I'm gonna switch it from world. Why? Yeah, well, your Patreon, you can have access to this if you want. Just message me and let me know. But honestly, you guys can just grab one of these off of Photoshop or Google or something. Really easy. Took me like 10 seconds to draw a box and then a little thing out. Very easy. If you guys ever want to see Photoshop tutorials or anything like that, let me know in the comments below. I'm more than willing to do those as well. I'm not great at Photoshop. I probably know more than your average person just farting around in it, but we'll see. Maybe you guys teach me a whole bunch of stuff in it. So in here, we're gonna grab this border, and I think we can just go image and hit the arrow key. Nope. Let's select our guy. Arrow key. There we go. I kind of want to add another border inside of this. I didn't do that in the other one, but it came out very dark. You know what? Actually, let's do this border, no image. So I'm just gonna hit the arrow. This border here with an image. Let's see if this works out. I don't know if it will or not. I'm gonna grab the first border again, go to tint. I'm gonna give it like kind of a bluish thing going on, and we're gonna go very opaque, right? And then I don't think this is gonna work the way I want it to, so hold tight. We're probably gonna cancel this. Where is the, oh yeah, image? Let's do rounded box. Didn't really work out. All right, we're just gonna cancel that. I'm gonna go back to this, set this one to image. We could just do both of these as that image, right? And give it just a little bit of offset by saying like 505 and 300. And it didn't do anything, so never mind. I'm dumb. There we go. That kind of thickens it up a little bit. I just raised the opacity back to 1, or the alpha. So that's at least thicker lines. Okay. You don't have to do that in yours. If you get one that has much thicker lines than what mine did, because it barely shows up, then there you go. So in here, let's do a vertical box. This is basically going to keep everything in order from top to bottom. Inside the vertical box, let's go ahead and do a text. And then I'm going to center the text. Oh wait, that's the vertical box that I'm centering. Let's put that back to go all the way across. We'll do text center on both the horizontal and the vertical. And then also inside the vertical box, so let's select that. Let's get a scroll box. One thing I do want to make sure, this scroll box, we want to go clipping, yeah, clip to bounds. Making sure that's there. I am going to do fill. And what I'm going to do though, so that we don't have words sticking out underneath the chat bubble here, what I'm going to do on this is we're going to go to the padding. I'm going to do, let's do like 25 on the left, actually maybe 20. Yeah, 20 on the right. There we go. And bottom is going to be a lot. Let's do like 80. Actually, that's about perfect. Top, let's do 5. Okay, so this will be where our text ends up. There'll be a little space here that it doesn't end up in at all. And we can even add, if you really wanted to add a border behind your text here, you could. We could just slap a border in there. There you go. And we could say, I want it to fill, and we're not filling it. Am I crazy here? You don't forget the border. I'm not gonna worry about it. Let's add text. Let's get this tutorial done. I don't want to spend the entire tutorial on how to do UI. That's not what the tutorial's for. Alright, yeah, that should be fine. And let's see, if we go to the text on here, first thing I want to do is search for wrap. And we want to say auto text wrap. Close that. And then right here in text block, I'm just going to put a space at the end of this. And I'm going to select all, copy, paste, 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 a whole bunch. I just want to see how it does. And you can see automatically it's clipped it at the bottom here. Perfect. Get on that. So I'm going to delete all that. Now what I want to do is inside of the graph here, all this, we're going to make 2 variables. We're going to say title text. I'm going to switch this from a boolean to a text plus, and then we're going to do body text. File save, and then let's select our title. Go up here to where you would type in the text. I'm going to go ahead and just empty that out. And I'm going to create a binding. We could just select the variable, but I want to format it to make it. No, I do not want to format it, so it actually doesn't matter. Never mind, I'm thinking of the coin thing. That's later. So So title text, and then body text, we can just come over here and select the variable. There we go. So now whatever that variable is what will be shown in the title and body respectively. All right, so that should be it on our dialog widget, unless I'm forgetting something, which knowing me, probably am. We'll see. Let's open up our HUD widget, and here we want to grab a canvas, and I'm just going to slap it on top of where it says HUD WI, and then in the search panel over here, we can look for our other one, which we called dialog. There it is, our dialog WI. Put that in, and we can select it. Now, our size X and Y, for some reason, I'm not sure why this does this. I think if we hit size to content, it automatically pops it up, so it does work. Okay, that'll work. We can then anchor it in the top or in the bottom right or wherever you want it. I'm going to then take the X position, Y position, and zero them out. And then I'm going to take my X here and I'm going to align it where I want it. The reason we're doing it like this instead of using positions is so that this should be relative to any screen size that you set up. It would fit on at least most screen sizes. I can't say this is going to fit on all because I'm not 100% sure that that's true. But most. All right. Let's go ahead and do the text thing I was talking about for our coins. Let's do for that the border. We'll just do this really, really quick. So if you can't follow along, pause. And I'm going to try and go fast. And then I'm going to get a vertical box. And let's say you want an image. I'm going to quickly go to Google and just grab a random image. So coin image. Say coin PNG. Actually, there's a clip art. Coin. Copy this guy. And it's going to look kind of crappy because I'm not going to take it into Photoshop and all that. I know you guys can't see my other screen, but you guys know how to grab stuff off of Google, I'm sure of it. Downloads, I'm gonna grab, open the folder, there we go. Got it across. For some reason it keeps trying to make a thing on my other screen. Alright, we'll just call this coin. Bye. Now it is going to have that white background because I didn't make it a PNG or anything like that, so I'm not going to worry about it. But you guys can take your time on it. And then, so inside of this vertical box, let's do a horizontal box. Inside of the horizontal box, let's do an image. And then in the image, we're going to go grab our coin, brush, image, say like 25 by 25, probably way too small. 75 by 75, too big. I don't know, 50. There we go. I'm just gonna go with that for right now. Let's go ahead and reselect our border really quick, and we're going to size to content on that. And actually, you know what? I'll go ahead and take the tint on the border, and let's do like a nice blue. Soften it. That's going to bother me that that's white, but we'll get over it, right? Showing you guys a quick bonus thingy. Horizontal box text, and we can write here. Where's our text? Sorry, select the text. Say like coins 100, something like that, right? That's how we want it to read. And then if you wanted to add anything else, we could close that horizontal box and we can say this is the coin box. I'm gonna put horiz for horizontal. And then if you wanted something else below that, you could have like another text block with something, right? I'm just gonna delete that for now, but you can kind of see that if we just keep adding stuff, it'll put it in a row vertically. All right, graph, delete variables. I'm gonna make a coins collected variable, switch this to an integer, save, designer. Now, this is what I was talking about on the other thing. I want to show you guys how to format text. So I'm going to select the text, and then I'm going to come over here to the bind and create bind instead of setting it straight to the variable. I want to pull off of this text input and say format text. Now when I'm doing this, what you want to do is type in how you would want it to say it. I want it to be like coins, and then I want it to be like this. So basically, you guys can see that I want it to say something kind of like that if we had 100 coins. So instead of having that 100 in the middle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say curly brace, and I'm going to write the name of any variable that I would want to put in there. So I'm going to say coins, just for reference. And then I'm going to do another curly brace to end that, right? And now when I finish that off, you'll notice that coins pops up here. I can take that coins collected variable we made and plug it straight in. And that will show us our coins. So I'm going to say get coins collected on this to make that a little bit more understandable. And we're going to close all the way out of all that. Now we can do the fun stuff. And I can slow down a little bit. All right. So if you haven't already, in our types enumerator, we have a tutorial, or we can actually call this like dialogue instead. And this will be for our prompt. So make sure that in some enumerator that you can switch between your interactables using, you have a type for our dialogue. Right. Close that out. And inside of interact type, which we'll get to, or interact interface, we'll get to this in a second. But we do need new blueprint, and this will be a structure. This I'm going to call extra info. And I'm going to put underscore struct so we know it's a structure. Open this guy up, and all this is going to have in it is our HUD. And I'm going to put underscore ref for reference. So then we can search for HUD, get the HUD WI, not that one, the HUD WI, and misclicked. Go, save. So what we're using this for is to basically be able to pass information whenever we interact with something. So in our input, I want to be able to pass that structure. So I'm going to say again, extra info, and there's our extra info struct. And then I'm going to name this info. So now we're able to pass that information along. We can close that, and then we can go to our pickups, and then even though this won't necessarily be a pickup, it's still technically interactable. So I could actually rename this guy interactable underscore base instead of pickup. And I like to have BP at the end, so hold on, underscore BP. We'll open that up, and you'll notice that on our interact now, we have that extra info thing. We don't actually need it for in here. So I'm just going to compile save and close this. Then I'm going to right click on it and say create child blueprint class. This one I'm going to name our dialogue underscore BP, or your tutorial hint, or however you guys want to call it. Open it up, and remember it automatically comes with our mesh and our radius because of it's a child of the base. So the mesh, we can just set that up to be, you know what, yeah, here we go, editor help. And then let's get our radius, let's get it centered on this guy, and then make it nice and big. So, copy paste these two. Alright, nice and big. Now let's get this out in the world so we make sure that it's going to actually interact. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to make it slightly come out in front of this guy, because I probably always want it to be sitting behind. So if the player's running along this middle line here, we'll hit it, and this will be kind of behind the player. And we can make that editable through every instance of it, so it's not going to matter. All right, so in the event graph, we already have our what happens when it overlaps, right? So we don't need that anymore. What we do need is an on interact. Oh, and before we get too far ahead, let's go ahead and say get interact type. Let's switch it from coin to our dialog. If I can click on it, there we go. And then go back to our event graph. Here's our interact type, or on event interact. So whenever we do interact with this, what we want to know, and if we right click on this struct and say split, we want to get that HUD reference. And from that HUD reference, we would want to get our dialog widget. From that dialog widget, we would want to get, actually set, sorry, our title text. Then set our body text. And off of that, we can say set visibility. You want it to be visible. And then even off of that, I'm going to go ahead and promote it variable, and we're going to call this the dialog underscore ref. I'm going to need that in just a second. Down. Okay, now we need some variables to go in here. So what we can do is right click on this one, promote it to a variable, and title text is a good name for it. Same here, promote it to a variable, body text, good name. And then with each one of these, we're going to select it and hit the I to make them instance editable. Meaning that we can fill it in per instance. So each individual instance can have a different text. Now, we'll get that nice and sent along, but we also need it to go away whenever we're not standing on it. So I'm going to right click on our collision, go to event on component end overlap. I don't know why I said event, but it is technically event. And we want to see, is that guy, I'm going to say equal to our third person character. Actually, I want to say get class, sorry. Get class. And then if this is equal to our third person character. That way, because we could do it by the interface, but the coins have the same interface. Any other pickup would have the same interface, or any other interactable would. We can't do it by just that, but then again, if we do it this way, we don't really need to do it by anything else. We could cast, but cast makes hard references, and this, as far as I know, correct me wrong if I'm wrong in the comments below, this does not create a hard reference. Alright, so then we ended the overlap. Now what we can do is we can take our dialog ref variable. Okay, let's go ahead and grab all three of these, copy, paste, and we can just set our text to be empty, both of these, and we can paste here, and we can set this to hidden, effectively hiding it from our view, right? And that is all we need inside of here. Now I'm gonna leave it open just in case I forgot something. We're gonna go back to blueprints and go back to our third person character. And in here, whenever we, oh, that's a good point. In our setup interaction, sorry, and if you're not remembering where that was, it's near our event on interact. I don't think we can just plug this in like that, can we? No, didn't think so. On our event interact, we're gonna double click on the setup interaction. This is the function that we made in order to kind of clear up the space in the event graph. And now we're going to select our setup interaction, and we are going to get an extra info struct pin, and I'm just going to call this interact info. And for right now, it really only has anything to do with our dialogue, but we might need it for health. Maybe we can pass how much health is given or something like that. You can actually like kind of Russian doll a whole bunch of structures in there. You can make one specifically for dialogue, one for health, one for coins, because maybe there's a coin that's worth a lot more and you want to pass that information along. That makes it very, very easy to do. You can make a structure for each and every single one of those and then house all of those inside of your extra info structure. Too easy, right? If anybody wants to know more about that, join the Discord, hit me up. I'll walk you through it personally. So what I can do though is I can promote this to a local variable because we don't need it anywhere outside of this. And I'm just going to call this, you know, extra info. Plug it in. Let's go around the top just so that we can easily see our line traveling there. All right. And now whenever we're doing our dialogue, we're going to want to interact, right? Pop that over there. We want to, oh, we don't have a HUD reference yet, right? Really quick, we're going to need the actor. So we can, I'm just going to grab the interact actor, paste it there. Our actor here is ourself. And our extra info, which in this case, we're not going to want to just grab our thing and pass it. We're going to want to split it. And we need to get a reference to our HUD reference. But in order to do that, we need to, on event, begin play. I'm back in the event graph, by the way. Hit enter. That's going to bring us straight to our begin play, or create a new one if you haven't already got one on your event graph. I'm going to pull off of here and I'm going to say create widget. Okay, and then the class, I'm just going to grab our HUD WI. I'm going to promote this to a variable and name it HUD underscore ref. And then from the variable, we're just going to pull out and say add to, there it is, add to viewport. Okay, and that will get our HUD on our screen. Now, back inside of our setup interaction, we want to get this HUD reference and pass it along. Now, we could do the same thing here with this, but since all we really need to do with the HUD reference here is just pull off of here and say set coins collected. Plug this guy in, and then grab our coins collected variable that we made before and plug it in, and now our coins thing in our UI will work perfectly fine. So I snuck that in there really quick for us. All right, now back in our dialogue, we've already got all of that set up. Remember where we're passing through the extra info HUD reference? It's all already set up. And I think, again, unless I'm missing something that I can't think of right now, we should be good. So, with this guy out in the world, let's move it ahead a little bit, and I'm going to hit play. And I forgot to hide the guy in there, but it should still populate the text when we walk over it, so let's see. Oh, a couple of things. One, let's write some text. So, hi YouTube, and please like, comment, subscribe. All right, so that's set. Really quick, while we're already out of that, let's go back into the UI folder, go back into the HUD widget, and then we're with this where is it? Dialog widget selected. We are going to set its visibility right here, and from not hit testable, hidden. File, save, play. I see our coins top left up there, nice and pretty, yay. Touch this, bam. Hi YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe. And then, like I said, little bonus, we pick up our coins. There goes our coin count. Pops back off of our HUD. If we want to walk back over it, touch it, bam. There it is. And with an added benefit, let's say we wanted to put a space at the end of this. Really drive home the fact that I need you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. We can add this in. Now, if we do that, we're gonna get this nice little scroll bar, but how do we actually make it scroll? That's something we forgot to do, or at least I forgot to. Let's go back to our blueprint, open it up, event graph, and I'm gonna make a key here. I know you guys don't have, oh, and I forgot to delete it from earlier. But yeah, this is basically what we're gonna do. I'm gonna delete it really quick so I can show you guys. We're gonna do left, alt, get the keyboard event, and then we're going to say get player color. Pull off of here, and we're going to say, what was it? Oh yeah, set show mouse. Yeah, there we go. Set show mouse cursor. And so when we're pressing it, holding it down, we want it to show. I'm gonna copy paste, and when we release, I want it to hide. Make sure to plug this into the target. That should be all we need to get our mouse cursor showing up. And we do this, we hit this, we hold Alt. Now I can click down here. Scroll. Now I think, and let me make sure, if I do this and I try and just scroll, oh, it is working. Okay. I think earlier it kept making me click, but there you go. Nice, easy, simple dialogue. Well, not really dialogue, but you get the idea. It's not a back and forth conversation, so you can't really call it dialogue. But here you go, a nice way of popping up some useful hints or information on those things, plus a little bonus content of how to get those coins to populate on your HUD. If you guys want a health bar tutorial on the HUD stuff, I can show you guys that some other time. Actually, no, I've already made a tutorial on that. I have a health component one, which I will try to remember to link in the end credits on this. But guys, that brings us to the end of the video. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, and I really want to thank my one and only Patreon so far, Jaime, for being a continued patron. So thank you guys so much. Sticking around. See you next time.